What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about data today. Streamer, in other words, as like Streamr. Um, Essentially, it's a data sharing, decentralized, even like media sharing kind of network. Right, Streamr network is a peer-to-peer network for publishing and subscribing to data in real time. Think of like x.com, right? But instead of like a social media aspect, this is more for like data and information and even media to a certain degree, like x.com is, right? Um, but I think this has more um, like data based uses for it, right? Like x.com itself is sharing data to a certain degree, of course, but this would be something potentially that you could see in like the IoT Internet of Things, yeah, IoT. Applications use it for decentralized messaging, for example, sharing data across appliances or broadcasting real-time state changes to large audiences. The decentralized nature of the system makes the data transport scalable, robust, secure, tamper-proof, and censorship-resistant. That's what it says, right? But maybe that's what they promise to do. We don't know if that's actually true, in my opinion. Right, everything that says this, every coin that's ever had a flaw, they say things like this. And I'm not saying that this thing has a flaw. I'm just saying you don't know how scalable, robust, and secure it is until it's used at a large scale. And how can we know that whenever it's got a $35 million market cap right now? It's probably not widely used, right? This is probably just a goal that they have, right? Um, all this to say, though, I'm getting caught up in what I'm trying to say. Yeah, see, connect apps and IoT, Internet of Things here. I didn't even read this. I was just reading the overview from here, from like the main website here. Actually, let's see. If you type in Streamer Network, I don't know why it's not letting me. Let me just do it again. Streamer data. And you pull up the main website here. You can just like scroll through and read about some various things. I went to data token to find out more about the tokenomics, and I'm a little bit disappointed because I couldn't find out too much about the tokenomics. You can scroll through and see that it says tokenomics here, and you can try to find tokenomics docs right here. Sorry, but there's nothing about the tokenomics, and I think this is just weird. Network tokenomics, like what are you saying here? Like it's not the token. None of this is the tokenomics, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have a formal understanding of the word tokenomics, or maybe these guys don't. This seems to be more of a description of how the network operates in response to the token, but it's nothing about there's nothing about the tokenomics in here. There's nothing about this forms the basis of the tokenomics. So very roughly, what determines the quality of service in a stream's topology is the ratio of honest, stable nodes versus nodes that perform questionably. If your use case needs honest, stable nodes to make your data flow more robust, how do you incentivize good nodes to join? Well, you pay them. This forms the basis of the tokenomics economics. I don't think that's the proper usage of the word at all, because tokenomics, at least, and maybe the whole space is wrong about this, and maybe they're right, I don't know, but to my understanding, tokenomics is like this, right? You get a pie chart, or you get some kind of graph, or numbers. You get numbers that say this is how many tokens are allocated for the launch, this is how many tokens are allocated for the foundation, for the DAO, for staking, for mining, for marketing, for like locked supply, whatever, like all these various things. And you don't see any of that here, right? There's none of that here. You go here, you look for tokenomics right here, and there's nothing there as well. So nothing about the tokenomics, and that's fine. That's whatever. But from what I can understand, if you pay more, you're more likely to have a better what's the word I'm looking for? Is it higher throughput? I don't know. You're more likely to get better results in using this network. It's essentially a way for nodes through this network. I don't even know if it has its own blockchain because it's an ERC20 token. But through the network that is Streamr, if you pay more, you're more likely to get a better service. All the nodes that are connected through this network have the opportunity or the capability to subscribe or follow essentially each other, And whenever one of those nodes uploads data to the network, if you're subscribed to that node, you will then receive that data as well. Kind of like if you're following someone on X.com, from my understanding. I don't know. I haven't looked into this, right? I'm not the best fundamental analyst out there, but it sounds kind of interesting. It sounds interesting, right? It's like X.com, but for the Internet of Things. That's how I would describe it. That's like the best way for me to think about it. And it can be used for media too, and I think that's why they have it as Streamr, something maybe that you can use for streaming as well in media, and that might be a goal ultimately, along with tying that into like the Internet of Things. For anybody out there that doesn't understand what Internet of Things is, I'll just kind of explain that real quickly. It's like how we use the internet to communicate with each other, but instead of people using the internet to communicate with each other, Internet of Things is things using the internet to communicate with each other. Like your laptop communicates with your fridge, communicates with your thermostat, right? Like if your thermostat senses that the AC went out, and for whatever reason you have a crappy fridge and that affects the temperature, it'll communicate with the fridge to bump up the air conditioning in the fridge or the freezer, like stuff like that. But more complicated, I'm using a really simplified kind of explanation, but it's like a server, a network that allows things to communicate with each other without the need for human interaction, right? Essentially, it's like, yeah, and it's more complicated than that. But I'm trying my best to describe it, I guess. But without going too deep into it, but enough of this. It sounds interesting. I don't know if that was the best fundamental analysis, but I don't really have an opinion about the fundamentals. It sounds interesting. I'll say that. It does sound interesting, but will it be something that is here to stay? Will it be something that stands the test of time? That's a whole nother question. 99% of cryptos won't be here in 10 to 20 years. They won't exist. Or if they do exist, they'll become irrelevant. So maybe this, whatever it's setting out to be, there will be another platform, another network, another crypto. Maybe this crypto merges with another crypto or something, and all of this stuff comes to play. I do see this stuff being implemented in the future, but is Streamr going to be the one that implements it? I'm not 100% sure. It could be, but again, 99% of cryptos out there all competing against each other. Most of them won't. The odds are that this probably won't, but nonetheless, it has a chance to perform well, right, this cycle potentially. It's been around since 2017. It's done nothing but consolidate. You have higher lows and lower highs, so it's in a bit of a consolidation phase for its entire existence. An OG token, which is pretty cool. Very low market cap, which I'm not as keen on. Whenever you have a low market cap like this and you've been around for this long, that doesn't, especially if you don't have like any hype or anything going for you. I can't even see your tokenomics. Like I don't know what to think of this thing. But if you were to see new all-time highs, just going from like a cycle high perspective, and perhaps it's actually best to take the overall high and low of this consolidation phase, which I normally would do the prior cycle, but being that this is a whole consolidation phase, I think it's fair to take the high to low here. And you are showing respect on the 61869 area and the 382, the 886, looking good. If you were to see new all-time highs, you'd potentially move up to about $1.25 to $5.85. You're at about $4.58 right now. A little bit of support on your 382 area, but I'm not 100% positive if you even do break out of this consolidation phase. You absolutely could. I mean, you're in it now, right? Some kind of, and I'm not drawing it the prettiest, right? But something like this, you are going to break out one way or another. Just which direction are you going to go? And if it's up, I could see you going up here. But you also could find resistance at this 886 area, around like 22.4 cents, as you have your entire life. So it's kind of hard to say. There's a max supply of 2 billion, and a total supply of 1 billion. The fully diluted value seems to be based off the total supply, not the max supply. So sometimes what this means when you see this and this here, that means that they started with 2 billion tokens, but they burned them off, or they locked them away, or they're just gone now. But I don't know. I don't know what happened to this extra billion tokens. They don't tell you. And maybe they do somewhere, but they don't make it obvious to find, which I'm not necessarily a big fan of, but that's okay, right? Let's do some technical analysis on this thing and get done with it. Let's wrap it up. So right now on this week, you're up 57%. Nice, good job. It's actually one of the better coins that we've gone over in a little while, that's for sure. Day by day, moving up, looking like you're chilling right here, and that makes sense. You're pretty overbought. some hidden bearish divergence. Maybe not. I wouldn't call that hidden bearish divergence, actually. 4-hour time frame, bearish divergence. Yes, you could have one more drive up in you, but don't expect it. If it does come, cool, that's probably it, and then you go down. If not, you actually might be moving down, and I drew down like this. I don't think it's going to go down that far. Realistically, I want to put it back on the daily here. We go from this low to this high here. Something around 3.9 cents or lower is what I would expect. And that kind of makes sense as well, because this 382 area comes in line pretty well with this previous area of resistance here, resistance here. I very much would expect that you interact with this yellow line, if not a little bit below it. Hey, you found support on this area before, kind of in the middle of this zone here. You found support on it here, found resistance on it here, resistance, 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 pretty clean actually, resistance there. So yeah, around 39 cents, or sorry, 3.9 cents. I think finding support there would be nice. And you can go below it, that's okay. But don't go too far below it, right? It's very common, it's very normal on the first attempt down to the 382 to go a little bit below it, just like that. But what you want to do is after you go down there, you want to get back above this 4.348 cent area. Once you do that, we can talk about you going higher. But for the time being, I would expect that you're probably going to take a little pause from here. I want to take a relative fib and then wrap it up. High to low. Yeah, you found significance on that 0.5. That's not... It's hard to say because of this day right now. It's starting the way it is. You really could move one. You could have one last drive up to the 618 area. Maybe you interact with it. Maybe you reach for it and fall just short. It's hard to say. But either way, what would come afterwards is probably a move that would take you back down, I would think, around that 4 cent area. Maybe not exactly 3.9 cents, but somewhere around where this divergence originally formed, which is back here, right? So, oh no. I've got the battery saver on for my computer, somewhere like literally right around there. So I don't know if that was the fundamental analysis that you wanted, Mr. Hat, or the technical analysis that you wanted. I tried here. I did try to read it, man. I really did try to read it as much as I could about it, without wasting my whole day or spending my whole day. A good bit of it, I had my daughter screaming in my ear today while I was reading this stuff. She hates it when I'm on my phone, man. It's really hard actually to be on my phone whenever I'm hanging out with her. But I've got excuses. It's really what it comes down to. But it seems like an interesting project. It definitely does. But I'm not wooed. I'm not amazed by anything that I read whenever it comes to what I see on these websites that they make. I will say this seems a little bit more put together, a little bit more in depth than a lot of these tokens are, which I'm a little bit impressed with. I just wish I knew more about the tokenomics, right? It seems very vague about the tokenomics, and that always has me a little bit like, why am I not allowed to know? Why are you not allowed to know? Why is it a secret? Like, why? I think everybody in crypto wants to know the tokenomics, but and I just feel like this is not, like, it might be their economic model, but it's not that. I wouldn't say that any of this is tokenomics, in my opinion. I don't know. At least not to what I know. And then again, maybe my definition of tokenomics is not the proper definition, but to me, tokenomics is token allocation. What is the yeah, like the allocation, what tokens go where, what is designated for what to allow this network to grow and be successful, right? Is it actually decentralized? Like do we know that it's decentralized? It says it's decentralized. That's cool. It says that it is, but is it? Or does the team own 90% of the coins? We don't know. Like, how would, I mean, you could do on-chain analytics, I suppose. Obviously, I'm not going to do that here. But why not just make it easy and give us the tokenomics? You guys are the ones that created it, whoever you are. But anyways, it sounds good. It sounds fun. I've read plenty of white papers and documents like this that sound great. They're full of promises, but promises don't mean results. They don't mean gains. So as nice as it does sound, and it compares itself to Polygon, staking and delegation happens on the Polygon network. Okay, happens on the Polygon network. Be bridged, but it's an ERC20 token. Okay. I don't know. It compares itself to like gas and Ethereum. It uses all the right words, but I'm not too impressed by it, to be fair. But I am, I suppose, more impressed by it than I would be with most cryptos that I read. But again, it's been around for a while and it hasn't done much. It's still a low market cap. Could this be the cycle that it changes its ways and it starts to do some exciting things? Maybe. It's possible. It does look better than a lot of coins do, at least relative to their bear market and accumulation phases. But it has a lot of proving itself to do. If you want to see new all-time highs, First and foremost, you need to get above 22.4 cents. You get above that zone on any given multi-week basis, a monthly basis, you close above there, I would say you probably are going to make a move up to about $1.25, $5.85, maybe even higher than that. This thing is a low cap. It can fly, but it might not as well, right? It's had one bull cycle already. Will this be the one that it actually does something good with? It's hard to say, but time will tell. So with that, I leave you. If you like the video, hit that like button. If you don't, I don't blame you, right? This isn't the most well put together video, but hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. And where's the volume, man? Where is it? Is it on the USDT chart? Is that why? It's on the USDT chart. Okay. A little bit more volume. Actually, I'm kind of curious here. Let's see. What's that? 6.9 billion. And then over here, the highest volume we saw was 3.5. So yeah, you've got more volume this cycle. I shouldn't say that. You've got higher readings of volume in a month period than you've ever seen before by a near factor of like by like a 2x of what you've seen before. So that is promising, right? Higher lows with more volume coming in. Will you break out of this trend though, right? And I based it off of fibs, but I suppose technically, and it's such a low market cap coin, I'm going to shave this. I'm going to give these wicks a little bit like this and give it a more of a line of best fit. I would suppose you'd want to break out of these lines, right? And that's pretty well respected. That's actually a nice look right there. You want to get above like 9.33 cents. That's your goal. And if you can do that, then maybe you will make a move up to 22 point whatever cents again. And if you can get above there, then we can start talking about higher numbers. You really don't have to stop at $5, right? Like I know that's the 1618. I know this is the area that I normally talk about. It's different on Binance for whatever reason, but $6. I know this is the area that I normally talk about being a maximum for a lot of different cryptos. But it is such a low cap coin. You really could see this thing do crazy things, man. Crazy things. But I don't know if it'll hit $100, but you know, $20, $33, it's possible. $6, $1.29, possible. But you've got a long way to go before that's even on like the chopping block, the list of topics for conversation. I don't know what I'm trying to say, man. So I'm gonna end it there. Hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.